Let's dive into one of the world's most incredible stories of creation, of being lost, and then found again. We're talking about Borobudur, a stone monument whose history is, believe me, just as massive and complex as its structure.
Just look at this place. It's in central Java, Indonesia, and it's not just a temple. No, it's a colossal pyramid of stone, an absolute masterpiece of sacred architecture that's been around for more than 1,000 years. It's a place of wonder, of deep spiritual meaning, and for many, a life-changing pilgrimage. But here's the crazy part. For a huge chunk of its life, Borobudur was completely gone. I mean, swallowed by the jungle, buried under layers of volcanic ash, it basically vanished from the map. It became this thing of myth and legend for the people who lived right there in its shadow.
So you have to ask, right, how does something this enormous just get lost? And maybe even more important, how is it brought back to life? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the vision behind it, the mystery of why it was abandoned, and the unbelievable global effort it took to save it from total ruin.
Okay, so to really get Borobudur, you have to understand its design. It's not just a building, it's a journey carved in stone. The whole thing is meant to be a physical map of the Buddhist path to enlightenment. You don't just visit Borobudur, you experience it. You walk it. You climb from the everyday world up toward the divine, one level at a time.
Now, if you could float above it, you'd see something amazing. The whole structure is designed as a giant mandala, this intricate, symbolic map of the universe. Nothing here is random. It's a cosmic diagram that pilgrims can actually walk through.
As pilgrims make the climb, they're actually moving through these three symbolic realms. You start at the base, in the Kama Dhatu, which represents our messy world of desire. Then you ascend to the square terraces of Rupa Dhatu, the world of forms. And finally, you reach the top, the circular platforms of Arupa Dhatu, the world of formlessness. Up there, you find 72 of these bell-shaped stupas, each with the Buddha statue inside, all surrounding one massive stupa pointing straight to the heavens.
And telling this epic story along the way, a staggering 2,672 intricate relief panels. If you line them all up, they'd stretch 4 miles. It's one of the most complete collections of Buddhist reliefs anywhere in the world, and every single one is a masterclass in storytelling. So who on earth could build something like this? I mean, what kind of vision and what kind of power does that take? Well, for that, we have to go back to 9th century Java. This was the absolute crowning achievement of the Selander dynasty, a really powerful maritime kingdom. They poured an unbelievable amount of wealth into this project, wealth that came from the super fertile volcanic land and their control of trade routes. This was a statement, for sure. A statement of faith, yeah, but also of immense power. And it was built in this really interesting time when Hindu and Buddhist rulers often supported each other's temples. It created this unique climate of religious harmony. But then, after this incredible golden age, Borobudur just falls silent. The pilgrims stop coming, and the jungle starts creeping back in. And the thing is, we don't know for sure why it was abandoned. There are theories, of course. Maybe massive volcanic eruptions forced everyone to leave. Or maybe it was a shift in political power, or the fact that Java was gradually converting to Islam. Whatever the reason, the world's largest Buddhist monument was just left to nature. Over the centuries, the forgotten temple's reputation got, well, pretty dark. It became a place of superstition, a place to be feared. Old Javanese chronicles tell these stories about rebels, even a crown prince who met a terrible fate after visiting the cursed ruins. It wasn't a sacred mountain anymore. It was a place of bad omens. And that's how it stayed for hundreds of years, hidden and feared, until a British governor with a serious passion for history heard these whispers of a lost temple deep in the jungle. The road to rebirth was long and incredibly difficult. It all kicked off in 1814 when Sir Stamford Raffles sent a team to check it out. It took 200 men 2 months just to clear the jungle away. What came next was more than a century of digging and fixing, all leading up to a massive international project led by UNESCO in the 1970s. You really can't overstate what a huge challenge this was. The monument was literally collapsing under its own weight. It was waterlogged, totally unstable. To turn this crumbling hill back into what you see today, I mean, that was an absolutely extraordinary feat of engineering and conservation. During that huge UNESCO project, they dismantled over 1 million individual stones. Just try to wrap your head around that. A million-piece, gigantic jigsaw puzzle. Every single stone was cataloged, cleaned, treated, and then, very carefully, put back in its place. But they didn't just put it back together. They had to fix a fundamental design flaw. The original builders hadn't figured out a good way to handle rainwater, so it was getting trapped inside and weakening the whole structure. The solution was totally modern and invisible. A complex system of pipes was embedded deep inside the monument to drain the water away and hopefully secure its future. So, after being brought back from the absolute brink, Borobudur now faces a whole new set of challenges in our modern world. And the great news is, it's a vibrant center of faith once again. Every single year, thousands of Buddhist monks and pilgrims gather here for Vesak Day to celebrate the birth, enlightenment, and death of the Buddha. That sacred mountain is alive with prayer and chanting again.
But keeping it safe is a constant, uphill battle. It faces threats from pretty much all sides. You've got natural threats like earthquakes and volcanic ash from nearby Mount Merapi, and then there are the human threats, vandalism, the sheer weight of millions of tourists wearing down its stone stairs, and even, sadly, acts of violence.
And this isn't just a what-if scenario, it's very real. In 1985, bombs were actually detonated on the upper terraces, and they blew apart 9 of those beautiful bell-shaped stupas we saw earlier. It was a shocking attack and a tragic reminder that even a monument dedicated to peace isn't safe from conflict. When you step back and look at it, its story is truly epic. It was built as a mountain of faith, it was lost to the world for half a millennium, and then it was resurrected by a global community that saw just how precious it was for all of humanity. Which leaves us with a really crucial question for today. See, Borobudur isn't a dusty museum piece. It's a living place of worship, and it's also Indonesia's most visited tourist attraction. So how do you balance preserving it, allowing for pilgrimage, and handling all that tourism? That is the great challenge of its next chapter. How do we make sure this incredible monument is still standing for another 1,000 years?